Welcome, Tom and Richard. Thank you for joining Luca and I today. We're looking forward to learning more about equity release and later life mortgages. Could you tell us a bit about Mortgage Partnership and your journey that led you to create it?
Yes, of course. Firstly, thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to tell you more about who we are and what we do. Mortgage Partnership, full title is the Equity Release and Mortgage Partnership. We are directly authorised by the Financial Conduct Authority, and we are whole of markets. That means that we have access to every single later life lender in the UK, which means that we can offer that there is a solution there, we can find it. Journey for my business partner, Tom, and I, we've worked together for the last 10 years. And then about 3 years ago, we decided to focus entirely on later life products, which makes us, and we are now known as experts within our field.
Thank you. Tom and Richard, lovely to see you. What is the criteria for mortgage, or rather equity release?
Okay, it can appear at first sight to be confusing, but in fact, it's really simple. The clients or applicants need to be aged 55 or over, and they need to have equity in their property. And depending on their age and the value of the property, it will then determine the amount of money that can be released. But the simple entry point for an equity release mortgage is simply to be aged 55 and above.
And is equity release a suitable option for covering the costs of something like living care?
It's not only suitable, it's perhaps one of the best options, because with an equity release mortgage, unlike a traditional mortgage, it can be taken as a drawdown. So if somebody needs to release money, perhaps for home adaptations, to put a stair lift in, change downstairs bathroom facilities, they can take that as an initial lump sum. But then more importantly, to fund the ongoing care costs, that can simply be drawn down by a monthly amount. Some lenders will ask for it to be £500, some might ask it to be £2,000 per month, but that can all be set up at the very beginning of the process so that the clients can know exactly what money they're going to take up front and how much is going to be available to them over the longer period. And then we can calculate how long that funding is going to last.
Thank you. The person who owns the house no longer has mental capacity. Is it possible to get an equity release mortgage, the later life?
Yes, absolutely. Let's assume that there's going to be lots of different scenarios, but let's say we have a couple, they own the house jointly, one may have lost mental capacity, and as long as the other homeowner is available, we can work very closely with that individual to provide an equity release mortgage. There will also be circumstances where the clients have put a power of attorney in place, which might then involve further members of the family, like sons and daughters, and we can work with those individuals to arrange an equity release mortgage. Just one very important point on this: people who may need equity release to fund care, not necessarily now, but later in life, it's important to get that power of attorney in place and make sure it's fit for purpose at an early stage. So we would encourage conversations with clients at a very, very early stage to make sure that when they do, or if they do need funding in the future, that when we come to need a power of attorney, it's going to be fit for purpose.
And what is the process of applying for an equity release mortgage with Mortgage Partnership?
It's a journey, because clients are going to not necessarily want to see money landing in their bank the following day. So we take a long-term approach to client advice, but we'll help clients at every single stage, provide illustrations. But when it comes to applying for a mortgage, it's an equity release mortgage. It's relatively simple and straightforward because it doesn't rely on income checks, because they're not based on affordability. And quite often then they're not involved in credit checks or background checks, because again, the clients aren't required to make payments. They can do, but they're not required contractually to make payments. So application process is very quick. And from the moment someone applies, normally they're likely to see their remortgage offer within a couple of weeks. It's quite straightforward.
It's really helpful. Thank you, Richard. And what is your website address for people who'll be looking to speak with yourselves?
Sure. It's www.mortgage-partnership.co.uk. And there's loads of useful information on the website about how equity release works. There's also useful calculators on there that will give people an idea of how much they can borrow.
Excellent. Thank you very much.